it.
And there we are. We
And
were like hidden in the dark.
we were. We'll be here 4 to 5, having some fun with you. Turn it up. It's time to fly and get ready for the weekend. We are going to be, well, you're going to be, I guess, rocking it out. We're going to get to meet Andy Summers with the police. He joined you for a fascinating interview for part of your Soul Strings. I can't wait to hear what he has to say. We are going to find out what's rocking in the city, of course, with all the local bands with Cat Muse. Marcus Theaters always dropping us a line, letting us know what's hitting the box office and what hit the box office hard with how much money's brought in for the movies. I always like hearing that. Audra Harold bringing us the fashion. It's called Fashion in the Fast Lane. She's going to be, we've got somebody that she's met with and going to get to hear what he has to say. And then SheBang will be dropping back in.
I got to get the theme song for that.
We definitely need to have a theme song. We're going to do that because, it's all about aging gracefully. And there's a lot of times there's things that people don't know that they can do to feel better. They just assume they've got to feel the way they do. So we got a lot of wow weekend things happening, and we can't wait to share them with you. So first of all, let's talk about our own wows. We literally, in less than 2 weeks, went to 3 concerts. Saw, 9 different bands? Because there's like 3 a night going on.
No, well, yeah, you're right. No. Well, yeah.
Well, we were
3, 6, 7, 8.
8. Okay, so the first concert we went to was Little Big Town, and 2 openers.
Pierce.
She had 2 openers that came out with her. We talked about it because it was like 500 degrees that night. So we went to that front row. Bring your own fan if you're ever front row when it's really hot because there's no fans up front. The second concert.
Sit in section 102 in the very last 2 rows. And the big giant fans are right above you.
It was amazing. Kind of right in front of
you. We need to talk about the venue. We got to come up with venue perks. Like we know the tips of what each venue to do.
You know what? We're going to do that.
Yes.
That's a good idea. So we had so we went to the second concert, which was what?
Second concert with El Monstero and Blue Oyster Cult opened up for him.
Amazing. Feel the Reaper. Is that the name of the song? What's the song called? What's the song called?
Don't fear the Reaper.
Fear the Reaper.
Feel the Reaper. If he's coming to get you, just feel him. Just feel him.
He might like you then. Make it better. So don't fear the Reaper, which our Uber driver was playing, which was funny. There wasn't a lot of people there with Blue Oyster Cult. Or maybe they passed on because it was not very busy. But then once, of course, El Monstero started, which Gordon forgot he was sitting next to me when the girls were dancing on the poles. He goes, "Well, here we go." I'm like, "I'm right here." Hello. And then our third concert we went to,
Christopher Cross,
which I love. I love that music. It was like
Men at Work, and Toto. Steve Lukather.
Which was incredible. I really loved how they were.
Which looks like a mad scientist now.
He looks like a mad scientist.
Got that great hair.
Man, can he play that guitar? Wow.
Yeah.
And the new singer, which that's what I was laughing at, at the singer who is credible, but he's got that voice like, you all used to sing in the 80s with the high pitch that's up there somewhere you can't even imagine getting to. He was really good.
Keyboard player, yeah. He looked like Kenny G and Sarah Jessica Parker
had a baby. Yep. They did. But I love, besides him, because he's really young, that band, the what's his name? Steve, the guitar player.
Steve
Lukather. He knew the lead singer since birth. Their moms were best friends. They were born down the street from each other. They hung out when they were babies and didn't even know it. And then here they are professionally singing together on stage, best friends their whole life. And then the other guy, the one that played the other keyboard, who looks like Al Roker, and who else had a baby? We always do
Shannon Sharp.
Do you do that? We do that every time we see somebody. We're like, if so and so and so and so had a baby, that would be that person. We do that all the time. He was best friends since 14 years old.
Yeah.
With Steve, and I thought it was cool that they're still together.
And the bass player too.
Yes, because when you're with somebody traveling, I mean, these people, when they go on tour, they're almost together like 300 days out of the year.
Think about that. Think about that right there. Think about So you got the bass player, you got Steve Lukather, you have the keyboard player and the lead singer. All knew each other as kids and grew up and did very well in their profession.
Yeah, he was with Stevie Wonder,
The keyboard player.
keyboard player. Yeah, they've been around.
But how do you how does that happen in a subdivision or in a neighborhood where
Every
single one of them becomes famous
right.
and plays in famous bands like that? I mean, that's.
And I have to say
And
this.
they were all incredible. I mean, they were all, just
They could get that
studied
high
musicians.
pitch. They had to get someone new to get that high pitched
Yeah.
voice, but the playing, it was incredible. But so we got to see all of those bands in such a short span of time. It was pretty cool. And we're going to show you as well a little bit of our, I would say, concert tour that we were able to get in a very, very short time. Luckily, we lucked out. The weather was great. But I have to say, if you drink cocktails, I love Riverport. I think it's great. But come on, 2 drinks, $70.
I know.
Now, granted, if you get the can, which looks like you're coming out with what do they call those, road sodas or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, they give you these big cans. It's
The size of a water
you
jug.
can't bring your own, so you're pretty well stuck. I mean, it's very expensive. That's when you quit drinking. You just quit drinking when you got to pay. But by the time you get, their pretzels are really good, by the way. But by the time they have food and things, I mean, you can spend quite a bit on drinks. When we went to the factory, which I really love how the factory's set up because you're literally right in the middle and they've got the high top tables and they have the bars right there. Everything's very convenient. I don't remember it being as expensive.
No.
Getting a cocktail.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think it was. No, it wasn't even. And the seats, each seat was like super wide and cushions.
Yeah, oh my gosh, really comfortable.
So comfortable.
I also found out, I don't believe that the people working at the amphitheater are getting paid. I was told they volunteer, and I guess if they volunteer, that money is going to go to that charity that
Right.
they're representing.
Well, what a scam the amphitheater's got going on. They don't have to hire employees. They just give it to charities every night, and they work for them.
That's true, but
and they're making
should we say
$400 a drink?
Yes. Well, that's probably why they're marked up so high because a portion of that is going to the charity, and then an amphitheater is keeping a portion to keep the lights on.
I believe the tips only are going to the charity.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe a small portion, but I know the tips go to the charity.
Okay, all right. Or more information that we need to be clear on and find out and get the answers to. But yeah, I couldn't believe when I found out that they actually, were being volunteers, to be able to do that. Right. So, but I think that, if you've got a favorite band out there is something about going to the concert. But what I thought was funny, so when you pay for a seat, you're obviously paying more money to be up front to sit at a concert. And, you do, I mean, there's always that one song, that's my jam. I got to stand up. I got to shake it a little bit for that. But there's those people that just want to stand the whole time. They bought a seat, but they're just standing in front of you the entire time. You're looking at their back. And if you don't stand, you can't see the concert then. But not when you go to see Christopher Cross or some of the older bands because everybody's older. And I'm laughing. So these people stand up in front of us and they're dancing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to stand. I go, don't worry, they're going to last about a minute. I think it was 30 seconds. So you get tired when you're older. You don't quite have the.
Yeah, you don't.
But there was a girl to our right at Toto that was young, very vibrant. And she was hooting and hollering and dancing. And all I thought to myself is, I'm so glad I'm not behind her. Because I don't think she sat down all of Toto. She was literally, you know how like when you watch the old movies of like Elvis and the girls are losing their mind and screaming and crying? She was doing that. She was covering her face. She was
65, 70-year-old men on stage.
So she must be an old soul, loves Toto, which Toto is a great band, don't get me wrong, but she was screaming. She was literally losing her mind at some of the songs. I can't imagine what she did when Africa came on, because that's like their top song. She must have just like tinkled her pants or something when that happened. I'm glad she was in front of us. So if you don't want people, if you like to stand, then I guess you'll be good because all the young concerts, maybe everybody's standing. But when you get old like us, We buy that chair so we can enjoy it.
Just sit down.
And get up once in a while for about 30 seconds, 1 minute, and shake it a little bit. Like Little Big Town, I only got up one song.
No,
Had
you
to-
got up more than once.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
It was,
you got up
was
for
I that person?
you got up for about 3 or 4 of them. You
I
had
did
to,
not. You were looking at someone else.
no. Yeah,
I got up
we're in
once.
the front row. There's nobody to look at in front of us.
I did. It was whiskey,
The wine, the beer,
the
the
wine, the beer, the whiskey. That one. I don't remember getting up for another one.
content.
Maybe a short second.
Yep.
Okay, what else? You said 3 or 4. You're fibbing.
Day drinking.
Oh, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
It was
She
too
did.
hot. I did not.
She just doesn't.
All right. Well, we got to take it to a break. We've got to have some commercials here, but don't worry. We'll be right back.
In your city, we've been talking about concerts and some of the things that we want to do for the summer. And I had a great interview with Andy Summers from the Police, and so many things that I didn't know. You'll get to hear this video, but so many things I didn't know. I didn't know he was a black belt in karate. I didn't know he was 10 years older than Sting and Stuart Copeland when they got together. He's got a great event coming up here. It's called the Cracked Lens and a Missing String Tour at the Wiley Theater. It's going to be a great concert. It's going to be him talking. It's going to be him interacting with a very intimate audience. It's going to be him showing some of his photography. He's written like 5 or 6 books. He's an accomplished photographer. He's written many scores for movies, played with many jazz artists. And it was just, as you'll see, it was just an amazing interview to be able to sit down with one of the legend guitar players of our time,
Yeah.
especially that we grew up with, and just a very nice and genuine guy. He had some troubles before we started the show with logging on,
Technology.
and he couldn't log on to the program that I usually use. And I was talking about it. What was really nice is that, I kind of wanted to show some of your photos and show some things, which we're going to show you anyway. But he goes, "Hey, mate, I just want to spend time with you." It was like, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really nice. Well, let's
yeah.
see it. I want to see the interview.
All right.
Andy Summers.
Let's go
Police.
to it. I want to welcome to you the one and only Andy Summers. Andy, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, and man, I am just thrilled to have you on today. You take me back to a place called Stages in Granite City, Illinois, back in 1980. It was January the 24th, and you guys opened up for the Wamsen Naras.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
yeah, Wasmo Naris.
Naris, there you go.
That's how we say it. Yes, I do remember it. And I wonder what ever happened to Wasmo. He was working with our manager as well. I liked him a lot, and I thought that he was really good. He was a real unique one-off guy, singer. I wonder whatever happened to him. Wasmo Naris and the something.
You helped shape one of the most iconic sounds in rock with the Police. How do you reflect on that era now? Do any moments still surprise you when you look back on that?
One of the things that I'm getting today, from a lot of people that, the 80s, musically anyway, let's say, was sort of a golden period. had so
Yes.
many bands and all that, and it was all sort of new. And it was like, to me, I've often described it as the sort of culmination of the 60s. It all started going in the 60s and it really blossomed in the 80s more than the 70s. 70s is so strange, but the 80s really just was that great period. Oh, yeah, the Police. You had so many bands from the UK, had U2, everything sort of started. And then it sort of fizzled a bit. In the 90s, there was a little burst from the Seattle scene in the 90s, but it didn't have that thing that the 80s had. And, we just had a show here I live in LA at the Hollywood Bowl, all 80s rock bands. So, there's definitely a looking back at the 80s. No, no. I mean, for me, it was obviously I was in the great band and all that, and so of course I look back on it with a lot of affection.
Your guitar style was so much different. And I mean, it was layered textures, cinematic. Where did that signature sound come from? Where did you get that? How did that evolve through the years for you?
Yeah, well, I was, obviously as a musician, I was involved not only in just learning how to play pop songs, but I got interested in the whole structure of music and harmony and thing. And I finally went to university in Los Angeles and I played classical
Right.
guitar. So I was very pure in my interest. So I grew up, came to, my growth was, but, I started out being a complete sort of jazz wannabe when I was in my teens, Wes Montgomery and Kenny Burrell and people like that. My ear was drawn to that once I got past the sort of initial early stages of simple guitar playing and got into more complex chords and everything. And then I had a period of living in California where I went to college and, played classical guitar. And so that took me into Hollow. By the time I got to the Police, I was, you might say, fully loaded. I had a lot of music and I was playing the electric guitar and I had my Telecaster. Uh, uh, so then I met up with this guy called Sting, and he had a very similar musical background to me. He also played a bit of classical guitar. He was coming out of a jazz rock group called Curve. No, that was Stuart Curve. So, but we were in the punk scene in London, and we had to kind of adapt our rather sophisticated musical taste to be a rock band, be a punk band, and that's sort of where it started. And this became uh, the venue. What's the right word to say? The vessel, should say, because I could play all this stuff, and Sting sort of had this book of material there because he was definitely a songwriter that he sort of kept hidden, and then he'd bring out this massive book, and he would look on page 64 and go, "We could try this. This is an old one I wrote," and he would start to bring these things out. But I could play everything back to front. I was a very good guitarist, and suddenly I think what it was saying was that all these possibilities suddenly, well, they became possible. All these things he wouldn't have been doing suddenly were possible to do, and that's kind of how it started. It was, kind of a miraculous meeting where we both had come from sort of more sophisticated backgrounds, but we were in the rock scene and we had to play rock, and then we started to cut our rather sophisticated sensibilities down to being able to do a rock, and that's where the music of the Police and the guitar approach came from.
I have a buddy of mine that plays guitar here in St. Louis. Wanted me to ask you what was going on with the solo in Driven to Tears.
It's a brief solo, but the song's got in the lyric has all this anguish in it, and it seemed to me that the solo shouldn't be just some standard bluesy lick rock solo, but should have these sort of angular uh, notes in it. It should be comprised of something that was more of a shriek rather than the blues. Yet again, like most rock guitarists, and so I literally played flattened fifths and ninths in that solo to give it what I thought was the right atmosphere for the song.
You not only for your music, but you're very well known for your photography. How do those two art forms influence each other for you?
Well, I like the way that you said influence, because that's a subtle thing. How does it? How does it? I don't know if it did or it didn't, but I mean, one has one's sensibility as an artist or whatever. I mean, where it started for me, obviously, I started with piano lessons when I was 6. At 11, I got the guitar and became the complete obsession for the lifetime. And around the teenage years, 14, 15, 16, I started to go to a cinema in my hometown called the Continental, which is almost a joke. And they showed all these European art house films. So I was looking at Truffaut and Fellini and Bergman. My head was obsessed with these black and white art house movies. So I think that's where the photography came from. And as I sort of like jazz and this more sophisticated music, I think those films influenced me hugely, and I saw them all the time. And I'm still watching them. Uh, Now we've got them on DVD or they're on, whatever it is on TV. So these were big artistic and cultural things that influenced my thinking. Absolutely. I don't know exactly how they merged, but if you want to see them merge, you have to come to my show because now,
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
well, it's so screamingly logical. Well, I don't know why it took me so long to think of the idea. I've been doing it about 2.5 years now, to combine the photography with the music on stage, which of course it entails a big screen and and I'm playing solo to all this stuff. So, it's a nice sort of culmination of these things I've been doing for so many years. And I'm quite pleased about it. The latest little, well, I'm about to go out and do it. I've got, a number of gigs in September around the country, well, including the one you know about. Then I just set up to do a big opening in downtown LA at this marvelous new building that's sort of dedicated to the arts to do the photography and the music. Yeah, so it just keeps going, and obviously I don't do that alone. I have to have technical help, but we've got it all worked out. It's like an entity. So when I say to my guy, okay, we're going to we'll practice a bit before. So literally, in practical terms, I go to my studio and I probably spend 2 days standing in front of it and remembering it all, kind of what I do with it, But it's there. I just have to, pick it up again.
I saw a little snippet of some of the show, and I liked how you add the humor to it too as well.
Yeah. Well, it's become, obviously I'm the guitar player and I'm playing all these solos. We've got the great images going by, but I also come out and talk quite a lot. And as it's gone on, I've got looser and looser to it. So I said to the manager, I might as well just start doing stand up now. I think we can abandon the rest of it. It'll be a lot simpler.
Didn't know you were a comedian, did you?
No, that sort of, well, I always thought I was a pretty funny guy, but now, you stand on stage with a mic and the audience, and you gotta start talking, buddy. You can't be quiet.
Right.
You can't go, oh, I'll play the guitar. See what you got. Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to the show. I had to ask you earlier when you were talking about when you first met Sting and Stuart Copeland. You were about 10 years difference, weren't you?
Yeah, they're older than me. I was just a kid.
How did that play out? Because were you more experienced at the time when you met them?
Yeah, I played a bit longer. I was a very good musician. I got to a pretty sophisticated stage with guitar playing and all that. And Stuart was 22, and he was a fierce guy, fierce on the drums. But he hadn't played that much. Sting was much more parallel to me. He was actually in a jazz rock band. He wasn't playing pop music at all. He'd written these songs that were sort of secretly hidden away, but he was a jazz rock bass player. He was in a band called Last Exit. I just remembered the name finally. So it was sort of likely but unlikely. But as Sting and I got to know one another, we found that we had so much in common. He wasn't really a rocker. He was he was a sort of jazz guy, and but he had this great voice, and this just gradually emerged. And Stuart was going along with it, watching these other two guys who could talk about chords and harmony all day long to his relentless boredom. And but of course, that was the magical meeting, and together we were able to do all this stuff. It was quite amazing, really.
Well, you've played so many big venues.
Yeah.
What is it about the widely an intimate setting like the Wiley Theater versus the big settings, what is it that you like about
Yeah,
that?
they're two. Well, obvious. They're just basically physical characteristics. I mean, maybe the show could get bigger, but the sort of smaller, medium-sized boutique theaters are, it's like you're really going to the movies because it's all about the screen. Obviously, I'm playing, I'm the soundtrack,
Right.
but you're looking at the screen. So if you try and do it in a 20,000 seat stadium, brother, ain't going to work. And something that's been very nice for me, and I was just talking about this to somebody else, doing this touring, doing this show, I've got to see all these absolutely beautiful theaters all over the US. Gorgeous. I think with the police, we must have just jumped straight past them because I've never seen these places before. Most of them are from the 20s and 30s. They're kind of boutique theaters and they're very nice. Loads of red velvet and gold and all. And they're the right size for me to communicate with the audience instead of like trying to fill a stadium.
I can't wait to see the show. What's one thing a fan has said to you throughout your career that's really stayed with you?
I'll keep practicing.
Nobody has ever told you that.
I know. There's a wide vocabulary of things, some which we can't even talk about on air, so we won't go there. But I think if they came backstage, which is not normal, I don't think they come back to like slag me off. They would come with compliments.
Right. Well, you know what? I want to thank you for your time today. I can't wait to see you. You'll be at the Wiley Theater in Edwardsville, and that is, I believe, September 25th.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. September the 25th. But I really appreciate your time, Andy. It's a
Thank you.
It's an honor and a pleasure for me. And I've got one last question to ask you.
Yeah.
The house is on fire. Which guitar are you grabbing?
Yeah, the Telecaster. That's the one I would never part with it because I think it's just sort of a symbol of that whole success. So I'm never going to keep. Yeah, people want to buy it off me. Ain't happening. Yeah.
Andy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's been an honor and a pleasure, and much success on the rest of this tour for you. Yeah. And can't wait to see it when you come to town.
I'll see you there.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Mate. Take care. Thank you.
Getting to talk to Andy.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool to be able to. I mean, these guys are some of the guys that I grew up with that I idolize and listen to all the time, and now I get to talk to them. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, really cool.
Really cool. If it's not music you want to go see, how about a movie? And we have Marcus Theaters.
Grab your popcorn.
Yes, and we'll let Ian tell you a little bit about that.
We're back in your city show here. A lot of things in the fast lane right now going on. And of course, it's all about women and men aging gracefully, and SheBang has it going on. So you're going to hear what Lauren and Dodie have to say to make life a little bit more fun.
Hi, welcome to Fast Track Friday. I'm Dodie.
And I'm Laurie, and this is where we get real about midlife, hormones, all the stuff that, nobody warned us about when we were in our 20s and 30s, but we are here to talk about it now.
So today's subject is when your sexy takes a sabbatical.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me.
Okay, we don't have careers in singing, obviously.
So if your intimacy has taken an unpaid leave of absence, this is for you. We want to talk about the fact that you are not alone. We hear this from women in our community all the time, and you are not broken. And we are here to maybe offer just a little support, advice.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean you're prude.
So why does it happen?
Well, because we have an extreme shift in our hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, that was my first slightest clue, was my libido dropped, and I was like, what's going on? It was my testosterone.
Mm-hmm.
It had completely dropped.
Yeah, mine too.
So, and it wasn't because I was boring, because I'm not boring.
No, you're not. She's not boring. But it definitely, the feeling of losing your spark, your kind of zest for life, that like sexual energy, it's a real thing, and it does kind of pack its bags and leave. That's what it felt like for me. I mean, it wasn't even just the sexiness or the sexuality, it was the creativity. It was the drive and the desire to do things, and
your mental clarity,
everything
of who you are
took a back seat. And it's not fun. It is not fun. And it's kind of scary, to be honest with you. I mean, I was a little freaked out by it. But that was before I knew about, estrogen taking a dip, testosterone sliding, and then basically your brain and your body aren't syncing up anymore.
Right.
And it's no wonder that we feel kind of flat.
You add in everything else that women do, the stress, the exhaustion, the parenting, taking care of your aging parents, career changes, your current career, all of that sucks the sexy out. And you're dealing with your testosterone and your estrogen dropping and dipping and just kind of going away.
And also when estrogen goes away, your tolerance for things
goes to this.
Yeah. So estrogen is it's your nice, sweet hormone. It's what makes you nice and sweet. And all of a sudden you don't have any more. And that husband or that partner who might have been fine before is just really irritating the crap out of you.
Right.
And there's a physiology behind that. It's not just you being cranky.
I know for me, I was questioning all my feelings and what I was going through internally by myself. I was silent about it. I was trying to hide it. And it's not your imagination. This is really going on.
Mm-hmm.
So own it.
Yeah. So let's talk about a few things that actually help, because we want you to know that this is not the end. You don't have to throw in the towel and just give up at this point.
No, it's kind of like a new beginning, actually.
Yeah, you can look at what you want and what your desires are and the things that you want to create and the emotional intimacy that you want to create with someone. And it can look really different now than it did in your 20s.
So, one of the first things you need to take a look at is lubricants and moisturizers. Our lady bit dryness is pretty common and it's very fixable. So there's some great products out there. Again, read the ingredients. We preach this all the time. Read the ingredients. You're not going to find all your clean ingredients at your local adult store down the street. Okay. So do your research. And if it smells like candy canes, I would definitely look at the ingredients.
Yeah. And also vaginal estrogen is something that helps that problem. Or that issue. I don't want to say problem, but that issue. So you can definitely talk to your doctor about vaginal estrogen. Most of them will prescribe that at the very least. And you might get a little pushback, but.
Right. And what about exercise? What does exercise do for us?
Well, it gets the blood flowing.
Yeah.
And it helps with body image. It helps you to feel better in your body.
It boosts our testosterone.
Yeah, boosts the testosterone.
Keep your testosterone. That's another way other than taking HRT or anything. You can do the exercise. It's strength training will do that.
Mm-hmm. And then the third thing that is really important is you have to talk about it. There is no shame in this. There is nothing to feel guilty about. This happens to millions and millions and millions of women. And so if you're not open to talk to your friends or to your sibling, your sisters, talk to your doctor about it. At least get the conversation going.
You can't fix what you don't talk about.
Right. And there's no just sitting on it. It's not going to get better by itself. So when your sexy takes a sabbatical, it's okay to invite it back, but it needs to be on your terms. So there's no pressure, there's no shame, just curiosity, connection, and maybe some good lube.
Yeah. We'll post some of that on our website. So that's why we started SheBang, ladies, to support women in midlife with real tools, clean products, and just open and honest conversations like this one.
Our monthly boxes, they are full of hormone-friendly products. They're full of little self-care rituals, and they're reminders that, guess what? Your body still belongs to you, and you can love it exactly as it is.
So check us out. Go to getshebang.com to grab your box or to follow us on Instagram at SheBangMenopause and join our conversations in our community.
Yep. And until then, we will see you again next Friday on our Fast Track Fridays. So take care of yourselves and don't be afraid to talk about all of the weird stuff, all the awkward stuff, and hydrate.
Moisturize. Moisturize everything at this age.
Yes. Moisturize.
Midlife moisturizing.
Yes.
Your City show, and you know what? We couldn't have this show if it wasn't for some of our great sponsors, and that is Jennifer Williams with St. Louis Closet Co. And we just love them and everything that they do. I was in there the other day, and they were working on one of their new displays, and it is the green one. What does she call that color? I forgot what color it was.
It's one of the new colors she's working with. I cannot remember the name of it either, but it's a gorgeous green.
Yeah, well, they design all these different designs for your closet, for your garage, for your pantries. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have an idea and you have something that's in your mind, then they can create it, because you know what's so great about that is they can do it right here in town. They don't have to source it out to somebody else. They don't have to have it shipped in. They create all of this and build it all right here in their own facility right here in St. Louis. And you can go there, see the displays, and let them know what you want, and they'll come to your house. They'll figure it out. And there's nothing that she can't do as St. Louis Closet Company.
One size fits all. It's right. I love, she says, take you from chaos to calm, because it does. When you're organized, you feel good.
Yes.
So All right. So thank you to Jennifer Williams. We've got what's going on this weekend. So, got to know what to do on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we've got a few things out there for you. Um, you know, it's really we say from the beat hearts to the beats you can eat and drink. The Metro's buzzing this week, and we've got what's going on. So, first of all, the Festival of the Nations. Have you done that before?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, August 23rd through the 24th at Tower Grove Park. You can celebrate global culture through live performances, food, art, and more during this vibrant multicultural festival. So you can, go on to claytonmo.gov. You can Google Festival of Nations and find out more about that. They also have market and summer events and the Tower Grove Farmers Market. So every week in August, fresh produce, food trucks, sunset sips, and live music right there in Tower Grove. And then one more thing in St. Louis is the Nocturnal by Nature, August 9th at the Bush Conservation Area. Take a guided evening nature walk to experience wildlife. So if you love being outdoors and love doing walks,
cool.
yeah, that's something a little bit different to do.
Hopefully it's not too hot.
Yeah, what's going on in Chesterfield?
Well, Backstop-alooza in concert at Chesterfield Amphitheater. It's August the 23rd. It's a music-filled fundraising event supporting local first responders with live shows and community festivities. It's always great to support our first responders. They don't get enough respect.
Yeah, you're right.
We feel that they need to be supported. That's a great way to do that. And also, movies under the stars. We talked about that as some of our bucket list things to do.
But that was like doing it at your house, having your own little private movie in the backyard. But this, you're going to meet up with a lot of other people.
Right, at the Chesterfield Amphitheater. Enjoy a film under the sky, perfect for all families. And then we're going to take you down to the river in St. Charles. So what's going on there?
At the Festival of the Little Hills. I can't believe that's already back again. I feel like we just went to that, which is crazy. But here it is already, August 15th through the 17th. Frontier Park and Main Street, Midwest Premier Arts and Crafts Show with live music, kids corner, food vendors, and over 300 artisans, you want to say, different types of booths and that going on. And then you've got the St. Charles Municipal Band concerts, Thursdays, 7:30, Frontier Park. Bring a chair, bring a blanket, bring some snacks, and enjoy some summer concerts right outside.
And now we're going to take you into Midtown area to Clayton, and we're going to take you to the Taste of St. Louis in downtown Clayton. That's August the 15th through the 17th. Regional bites, drinks, live entertainment, and family fun downtown Clayton. You can check the schedule across the weekend on their calendar. We also have musical nights at Oak Knoll Park, August 24th, 5 to 7, featuring band Fanfare. Free outdoor concert in a beautiful park setting. Bring your friends and your family. Bring your blankets, hang out, and watch a great concert. That's
think about it when you were
that's
little.
like old school stuff.
Yeah, but not really. I don't really remember cool things like that when I was little. I mean, you could watch the airplanes fly over, you could park and watch the airplanes. You could go to a park, but I feel like there's so many great activities and outdoor stuff, and even indoor. Just like we had interviewed the guy with Putt Shack and things like that. It's like there's really a lot to do now that we really didn't. I think you had the Checker Dome to go to concerts, right? I mean, now all these outdoor and indoor facilities.
They had Super Jam at Busch Stadium when we were kids.
That's true, but you had to borrow Busch Stadium when there wasn't a football game going on.
Well, they also had Mississippi River Festival, and that was out in Edwardsville.
They don't do that anymore?
No.
Gosh, okay. Well, said a few things. Maybe I missed out on some stuff. I
never got to go to the Mississippi River festivals, but I did get to go to Super Jam.
I was too busy going to horse shows and things like that. I missed out on some of that stuff. But we're going to a really cool event Saturday, and I'm excited. It's the first time I've been out there. Billy Bush, the Bush family brewery and distillery, is having their Bush and Boots Music Fest. It's also known as the Rodeo Series. How much fun on this property. They have animals, Clydesdales, all these things on the farm. So I had asked about, like, if you could smoke. I don't smoke cigars, but I mean, see, you're outside, and they're like, they don't know if that she was going to check on that because, which I think is great. You shouldn't, because of all the live animals. They don't want that in the air out there, which is really cool, to hear them say. So it's a monthly event. It's held, of course, at the Bush Family Brew and Distilling in Defiance, featuring a combination of rodeo events, country music, The rodeo events typically include bulls, broncos, barrels, which we're going to show you some pictures here.
Kelly's going to feel like she's in high school again.
Oh my gosh. So look at these pictures of the guys on these bulls and going around the barrels, and the guy oh my gosh, the guy with on the bucking horse. It's not just the bulls, it's the horses
Bucking
too.
Broncos?
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course, if you want to wear your Western wear, your cowboy hat, they also are going to have a vendor where if you want to get a custom cowboy hat made, there's a really nice vendor that does that. Food vendors, of course. You know you're going to get some fresh beer at the Bush Brewery, right? At their farm.
What else do they have, Kelly, that you can't wait to see? A Highlander cow.
I'm probably going to lose my mind actually when I see them. I have never actually got to touch or be up near a Highlander. If I could have one as a pet, which I think you can, people have them. I don't know on
They do.
stipulations,
Yeah.
but I don't know if anybody has one where we live. But
No.
but I can't even imagine getting to see one up close and personal. And I don't know if you can touch them or not, because I'm sure that they're careful about their animals. I don't know if they let you just walk up to them and pet them, but if they can, that will make my life. Well, actually, we're going to get a little bit of a private tour, so there's a possibility I might actually get to
Those
smoosh
what we're
one.
going to be able to do or see.
That's going to be
looking
amazing.
forward to
So
it.
again, that's in Defiance, Missouri, at the Bush Family Brewing and Distilling, every second Saturday of the month. So we're getting close to, the finale. There's August 9th, which is this weekend, and then there's September 13th, and then October 11th. That is the last one for the year, which I think October, how fun, because the weather starts to cool and fire's going. So you really feel that, I guess, that Western or nostalgic fall feel. Yeah. So bulls, broncos, barrels, mutton busted. I don't know what that means. I think that might be where you can wrestle down a little cow. I'm not for sure. If you want to look up MUTTON, I should have done already, but I've been too busy. Busted. I don't know what that means.
You know what they used to have
Growing up,
in Slater, Missouri? You know what they used to have when I was a kid that was so much fun to watch and do?
catch a pig.
Greased pigs. So they grease the pigs up and you got to try and catch them.
That is so much fun. But live music, so the gates open at 4 p.m. and the rodeo starts at 6:30. Tickets are $40 per person. Children under 2 are free, and $50 at the gate. So you definitely want to buy them before you go.
Yes.
That way you're going to save $10 to be able to do that. bushfamilyfarm.com, bushfamilyfarm.com/events if you really want to get on there and see what's going on. So I'm really excited to be able to see this, take part, and what a great thing that the Bush family has put together for people to to enjoy and be a part of something that does feel nostalgic when you go to things like that. I love that as a kid. Did you go to tractor pulls or things like that when you were little?
Well, yeah, I did some of that stuff, and like the grease pig thing. And
Yeah.
and then me and you went to tractor pulls.
Yeah, out of with the St. Charles maybe.
And I love going out to the Warrenton County Fair.
Yeah, that's the one I
like
meant
that.
when I was saying that, the Warrenton County Fair.
So those are fun. They'll take you back. It's just like old small hometown living.
Yeah, that does. That's wonderful. All right, well, there you go. You have it. You've got bands to watch. You've got weekend happenings going on. You can age gracefully. You know what to go see at the movies. We're trying to fill you with all that we can of fun things in the loo. If there really isn't anything you want to partake in, maybe you need to just do a small little road trip somewhere, get away for a little bit and have a good time, relax and unwind, and maybe put your phone down and just enjoy time. So if you want to check out the City Lifestyle magazines, we would love it. Go to citylifestyle.com. We have Chesterfield, Clayton, and St. Charles County. Take a look at all the great stories. You can subscribe there. Of course, we'd love you to go to luinfo.com, the In Your City show page, subscribe, be part of the show, have fun. And of course, you can reach out to us on our Instagram or Facebook page if there's a story that you have that you want to share, or something you want to be a part. Maybe you want to partner with us, be part of our show as well. We would love that. So until our next show, we hope that you have a safe weekend. Don't miss out on a minute, because as we say, life's too short. So enjoy it. Cheers.